how to get a fat paycheck. Yes, big fat paycheck. How many of you are looking for this? How do I get that kind of bigger paycheck or a bigger increment?
Right. Maybe we start with the beginning of the career for a typical. The job market is actually ever changing very fast recently.
Yeah, we heard about retrenchment,
Exactly.
right? And this is where we have been hearing about this thing. Retrenchment maybe start. I don't think it will happen that much to the young people, but more in terms of my age group, like in the mid-career places. You know, that's why we keep hearing this thing, mid-career crisis. So, what is mid-career crisis?
Yeah. Well, before that, because you mentioned something that I want to also clarify.
Yes.
Retrenchment not only happen on the older people,
Yes.
the younger ones are getting it.
Yeah.
Right? Because of the things happening in the market, like the AI, a lot of automation that's happening.
Yes, yes,
and that is when you do not know when can you succeed anymore.
Yes.
And that causes a lot of stress. And and the mid-career sometimes like shorten into a quarter life career.
That becomes quarter life. Oh my god.
Like you kind of like before you turn 30 years old, you go like, am I gonna stay here for long? Is this the right place for me?
Okay.
And then whereas in the 40s, right, in the 50s, people go like, okay, I'm here long enough. What's next? So the questions is actually different.
I see.
Right. So both are equally career crisis. Whenever we thought about, is this the right job for me already, or should I want to continue? Should I want to explore others? Right.
Yes.
So it calls you into a constant inquiry.
Yes.
And you ask yourself, what is my life purpose?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you started to ask these questions, what I encourage you to do is like, notice what is actually the mid-career crisis, or is it just a one-time market turmoil, or maybe your project actually go down the hill, or maybe because of customers you don't get a deal. Is it just a one time, or is it something that you have been thinking for long? Anything longer than 6 months, something is actually triggering, and something is maybe not so right, and then you may want to take a look at what's important in your life in terms of your career. Because we spend quite a lot of time every day.
But the thing that I've heard, especially people in the midlife, is this, that we are not only about career, and at this juncture, we also have our family life to take care of, right? So I give myself as an example. In the 40s, late 30s, 40s, we are facing an issue where we are the sandwich group. Yes, we have young children to take care of, we have our parents to take care of, then we have our bosses and profit and loss to take care, P&L to take care as well. It's like everything coming at the same time.
Exactly.
And at the same time, we have been working, let's say, in the organization for 20 years. Then we ask ourselves this question, what's my purpose in life? So this is where, how does it then, with all this coming, affect our so-called the work-life balance?
Exactly.
Yes.
So this is questions of like, okay, I have lots of financials to take care. And then the other side is like, should I not? Should I not? So should I yes, should I not? And that goes into a space of like, asking, what is my passion? Right? Sometimes passion you can't eat, okay? for the fact you can't eat the passion unless it's generating income, which actually settle all your finances of your children, your parents, yourself, and many other expenses in the day. Just let's be realistic a little bit, right? We still need some form of financial income to actually support our life. When the other side, I believe the balance, the work-life balance you're asking is actually, am I happy? Am I really truly happy doing what I'm doing?
Precisely.
Right? So that is when people come to this space, and then I go like, okay, so what is important for you right now? So it's inquiry questions and questions and questions until you really get it. Right?
Right.
I can't tell you what you should live your life like.
Yeah, no
it's
one
not
can.
fair.
So if they want to seek, let's say, certain support or help to get clarity, how can they do so? Because if I were to think about it myself, I can't get out of this rat race, which is what, and I'm so busy, right? So every day, the demands from family, from work, from bosses, from emails, tons of emails, okay? Or maybe not tons of emails, but tons of WhatsApp. So how do I seek that clarity? Where do I get the support?
The support is always available, right? If you're into friends, you have friends and family to support you, go and speak to them, right? If in a way that if you do not have anyone to support, look out for professionals or in the coaching and counseling work. I myself actually support my clients in terms of getting clarity in their career. And a lot of them are either newly promoted managers or they're at managerial rank, and then they want to try to raise up the next level, but plateau, stagnant for the longest time. Don't know what to do, don't know what to say, and then don't know how to get buy-in from a company because of stigma, and then you got some pullback. yeah, I have this bad blood thing happening. What should I do? How should I go about that? Right. So coaching and also counseling work can actually help in terms of getting a lot of clarity. I can't, say that I can give you 10 steps, but it won't work for you here right now. Because I do not know what's happening in your life that is actually causing this kind of unbalance happening in your work and your life. Right.
I believe different folks, different strokes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Everyone's life is unique. Sometimes just a step like this, seeking professional advice, would be long and far in helping you to sort out that clarity and find your purpose and your mission so that you can do whatever that you like and get financial gains as well.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a compromise. So Charlene, what are the common stress symptoms that relate to mid-career crisis?
The very first symptoms usually people always tell me is like, I don't want to see my boss, I don't want to see my colleagues. It's like so much things to do at work, I just don't want to see them. It's like being in the avoiding and also denying what is actually happening in the workplace. Right? They just want to close their eyes, finish a job, and then at the end of the day, go back to family. But in fact, they also don't want to see a family sometimes.
Okay, right.
So people are always in the denial and avoidance state. That's what I would say.
Yeah, so first one is about avoidance, not only for the job, but sometimes it's family as well. So maybe if you are looking into yourself and realize that I don't even want to go home too, I want to have a drink till late night. Would that be a symptom too?
Yes, maybe. A drink at a late night once a while is still okay, right? You want to catch up with people.
Yes.
But if it's prolonged consistently for a period of time, maybe it's worth to take a look, what's going on there about that avoidance. Right?
That avoidance. Yeah. So second one, what's the second one then?
Yeah, the second one that most of my clients will tell me that, I've been thinking this for a very long time. Charlene, this one actually has been happening for 1 year, 2 years. I'm like that already. Cannot change anymore, right? It's like prolonged a period of time thinking about the same situation again and again. And it doesn't go away even you change job. So anything more than 6 months that is haunting you, I would say that it's worth to take a look at that. What's going on there?
Yes. All right. What about the third one?
Yeah, the third one itself, right? You may be having problem, but somehow, for some reasons, you feel like nobody is understanding you, and you get nobody to actually talk to, not even to your close one. And sometimes when we make career decisions, and if it's in the family, it's sort of like a family decision still, right? Whenever I change job, yes or no, and then becoming like a decision of the family because there's a financial part of it that is tagged towards your income, right? And you felt like don't have anybody you can turn to discuss this matter, and it's actually bottling up everything in you.
Yes.
And it will explode one day, and I hope it doesn't happen to you, right? So seek for help. So the fourth one itself is actually a comfort zone. So people stay in a job for so long, right? 10 years, 20 years, and then you go like, oh, I close my eyes, I can also do my work, like right? And then it's like I'm thriving, my boss trusts me and kind of thing.
Yes.
It's a good thing and also a bad thing. Sometimes when we are in a comfort zone, it's actually a trap, right?
Yes.
And that actually restrict yourself from growing because you're so comfortable with the environment. It doesn't give you that kind of motivation to really do work with full wholeheartedly.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is when we need to take a look at it, whether is it too comfortable sometimes.
Yeah, so the four symptoms, take note if you have one or many of these, such as you are avoiding somebody or some places for a prolonged time, right? And it has been consistently 6 months that this problem has been haunting you or this issue has been haunting you. And third thing is, even if it's haunting you, you find that there's no one who's understanding you, no one to talk to, all right? Plus fourth, you get too comfortable that you close two eyes and say, never mind, let life be like that. So these are symptoms that you might need professional help if you have all these symptoms that relate to the midlife career crisis. Yes. So let's say we are talking about this, that we have these symptoms. So what are then the consequences if we continue with all these things? Do we need to seek consultation, or maybe we talk about the consequences on this first?
Yeah, let's talk about more on the consequences because prolonged being in a crisis mode is actually giving you a sense of like, I'm not important, I'm not worthy. I'm actually having a lot of self-talk saying that, I'm here or not here is also not going to make a difference. So that actually quite a sad thing to see that people are putting themselves not important, and therefore when people say that I don't have motivation for life, I do not know what to do anymore, right? And I always see that there's always a possibility out, right? The consequences can actually kind of like spread into your family relationship, your friendship, and also people in organizations as well, right? In your workplace, either your colleagues, your boss, or maybe your vendors or customers. People can tell you that you're not happy, but they can't make out how can I help you better, right? And people always go into like, I tell you this, have you tried this, have you tried that kind of things. And you go like, no, I don't
that's
like.
not what I want.
That's not what I want. No, this is not my. The things you tell me works for you, but not work for me.
Yes,
right? Yes. Yeah. So in a way that. When you are seeing, things are going into that directions, really seek for help professionally, because we ask clarifying questions so that we can get a clear thoughts from you in knowing what you need to do in your life, basically, right? So yeah, don't let it go into turning relationship into a sour one, and don't let it into like spoiling relationship at home as well, because it just there's place for help, basically.
Yes. Yeah. Because I can understand that, because the most common thing what people would do is, I'm not happy at work, right? Especially, okay, let me come from first the woman's point of view. Is, if a woman is not happy at work, go back to tell the hubby, what would the hubby always say?
Just quit your job lah.
Yeah, just quit the job. But the thing is, after that we realize that's not what I want to hear, right? I still want to have my career. This is not the solution to quit the job just like that. Then if it's the other way around, the hubby is not happy at work, come home and talk to the wife. So what will the wife say?
The wife will go like, also just quit your job lah, maybe.
But the husband will then think, if I quit my job,
how am I going to support you?
Yes.
Right? I'm actually the higher earning ones, and then or maybe like
some people the sole breadwinner.
Yes. Exactly. So it's good to discuss, career choices with your spouse if you are married, and that actually also kind of like come into a consensus that, hey, we are together as a couple, and you have your movement and I have my movement, and then we kind of like moving in towards the directions of like maybe we want to own a bigger house, we want to be financial free, or maybe we want to provide more for our children, or we have some other aspiration as well in life, right? It's actually very healthy for couples to really come together and discuss about career choices.
So Charlene, how can coaching help to navigate this stressful life crisis?
Thank you for asking that, Pauline, because this is really important to actually give the audience to take a look at what coaching is exactly, right? And I would call it coaching is actually two parts process for me, right? So the very first part of the process is regarding the question. The right question being asked can actually draw out the clarity in a person, right? And when the right question is being asked, it got the person actually think, what is in it for me to really like make this thing work, basically. That's the very first part. You ask the questions and you raise up you boost up the confidence, and then the person is feeling motivated. That's when the second part comes in really important. Implementation. Right? When we talk about implementation, and we are talking about creation work. When we create, what needs to move? Your body lah. Your body needs to move so that we know what do we do. I give you an example, right? In the career settings, we are applying for a job. What you need to do?
Write resume.
Write resume. What moves in your body?
Okay, nowadays we have to type the resume lah.
You don't write it anymore.
You don't write it anymore on a piece of paper.
So the typing part. And it's actually a body movement, right? And if we actually discard this portion, your job don't drop from sky. Right. So there are some people may be feeling, procrastinating, and then they may be thinking about, should I write it this way, should I write it that way, overthinking, right? And also maybe like thinking that I still have time, let me delay it for a while. I can still dong in my job, let me delay it for a while. And that actually causes into a non-movement state of our body.
All right.
Right.
Okay.
So like you introduced me earlier on, I'm a somatic practitioner. And I actually dwell deep in terms of how body movement can actually make a creation work. And that's the results that we want to see.
Okay, right? So somatic means a movement.
Okay, I would say that somatic word come from the word soma in the Greek language. Soma means body. Somatic, you can take a look at it as body-based movement.
I see.
Right, So looking in terms of the detail about how we move, that tells me a lot about the person.
I see.
Yeah.
So this is where we make sure that we have results from that coaching.
Yes.
It's not just about coaching, seeking
Yeah.
the clarity, which we heard a lot.
Yes.
But we need to have the next part, which is the somatic part. That means we need to have actions, and how to
Yes.
have the actions, definitely body must do something.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I have ever heard of a client who actually say something really shocked me, right? I say, okay, you say you want to do exercise. All right, so why didn't you do that? I spent time doing exercise, Pauline, and then ended up I figured out that the client actually thinking about exercise.
I'm exercising here.
I'm exercising
Yes,
here.
the brain.
And that's actually making us feeling overthinking, right? When you are overthinking, I will get you to do certain practices and exercise during the implementation that may seems like not leading directly to like writing a really good resume for your job interview, but is it something that you do on a daily basis that leads to you saying that, hey, today I want to write a good resume, I want to apply a job, I want to make good relationship at work, right? And all these things require the body to move, your mouth to talk. Yeah.
Okay. So that's where the two parts coaching is having the clarity and the body to work using somatic method.
Yes.
That's it for today's episode. I hope you've gained some valuable insights from Charlene about navigating midlife and quarter-life career crisis, managing stress, and boosting your earning potential. If you found our content helpful, don't forget to show your support by hitting the like and subscribe buttons. Share your thoughts in the comment section below and let me know what else you want me to cover in future episodes. Remember, it's all about taking care of your body, mind, heart, and wallet for a happier and healthier you.